So coming out of the end of measure 10, you've got this whole step bend on the 4. On the 1 of measure 11, you're going to play this 18th fret B string 3 times. It's like a triplet, so it's all in the 1, between the 1 and the and. So it's 1 and 2 and. So 1 and 2. You bend up. So 1 and 2 and. Bend up the 20th fret E string again, whole step on the and of 2, and then on the 3 you repeat the 18th fret B string 3 times again, and then on the 4, so 1 and 2 and 3 and. On the 4 you do this half step bend on 15th fret E string, and then 15th fret E string, so half step bend, and then just the 15th fret. Play the 15th fret again, 13th fret E string with the index finger. Then go down and play the 15th fret B string, and then slide down to the 10th fret of the G string and play. I play that with my middle finger. Prince kind of sounds like, if you listen to it, it's almost like sounds like it's falling down the stairs, but very gracefully, like he's hitting all the right notes as he's sliding down. It sounds like, it's hard to imagine how, but he's hitting. There might be one extra note in there, but that's basically, what I would say to try to do is just play and then slide from that 15th fret B string and catch that 10th fret G string. So the 10th fret G string is going to be on measure 1. Sorry, it's going to be beat 1 of measure 12. So that's you're starting 1 and 2 and on the end of 2 you rake twice on. You're barring the 10th fret of the D and the G strings with your index finger, and you're going to rake that twice. And again, it's on the and of 2. So you're holding that 10th fret G string, 1 and 2 and 3 and on the and of 3, so I told you it's all about the and, right? So 2 and 3 and. So 2 and 3 and. So sorry, 10th fret 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and. So on the and of 3, you're playing a half step bend on D, the D string, the 6th fret. I would use my index finger there, and then 8th fret D string with your ring finger. You're gonna repeat that, and that takes you to the end of measure 12. So again, measure 12 is 10th fret G, 10th fret G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the last thing on measure 12 is the and of 4, which is that half step, and it's going to lead us into measure 13. Where we start on the 1 with the D, the 8th string D, the 8th fret D string. All told, you do this 3 times. And the 3rd time through, you're going to start this descending run on D8 to D6. Then you're going to go A8, 7, 6, slide down to 4, all in the A string. So it's A8, 7, 6, 4, and then the low E string, 6th fret. So what you have there, and then you're going to rake 4 times, starting on beat 4, 4 and like that. So that measure's tough to explain without metronome or something to kind of get you explain it. But work on it with like a backing track. That's my best advice for that. And look at the timeline that I have. So I think that'll help. And then after that, so after measure 13, we get into measure 14, which is where the truly iconic riff starts. and that is started on the 15th fret of the G string. There's multiple ways that this can be played, I'm sure, different positions and things. I like to play it here, so this is what I'm going to show you. Again, 15th fret G string with your ring finger, then play 14th fret twice, 15th fret again, 14th fret twice, 15th fret again, and then a slide or a hammer from 15 to 17 on the G string. Either one, or you can even bend 15. I'm not convinced that Prince doesn't sort of mix and match a few different techniques depending on where he is and what he's feeling at the moment. But, so then it starts from 12, 14, 15. Repeats 3 times, and then you get this very familiar double, bend, and then the 2 notes together that we've seen a bunch of times in the solo, which is 15th fret G string, 18th fret B string, and then repeat. Then to end that section, you're going to do, the band plays this B flat major run like that. Takes it into the vocal part that lasts about 12 measures or so before that main riff comes back. So to play that, what I'm going to do is just a root 5 B flat, E flat, which is going to be 1st fret D string and 3rd fret G string. Then play the open D string, 3rd fret A string with your ring finger, 1st fret A string, and then repeat the 1st fret D, open, 3rd fret A, and then 1st fret A string, 3rd fret D string for that B flat power chord. So. Okay, so after the descending B flat major riff, which happens in measure 21, there's going to be the solo takes a pause for a while the vocal is going on, and it's for like about 12 measures, I think, 11 or 12 measures. So between like 22 and 33 measures if we're counting. And then the signature riff, this one returns back in measure 34. And he plays it for a couple more measures from 34 to 36. And then the band hits the chord, the E flat major chord. And while that's happening, somewhere like around measure 39, I think, you hear Prince play this little, for the first time in the entire song, I think, or maybe at least in the solo, you hear an actual B flat minor pentatonic riff. And so while the band is holding this E flat minor chord that's building tension up to the end, you hear this something like that. It's just a typical blues, pentatonic blues style riff. And what I just did there, if you want to play that, is again, you're in the first position, B flat minor pentatonic on the 6th fret, so you can basically keep your box there. Ring finger on the 8th fret of the D string, index finger 6th fret of the G string, then ring finger 8th fret of the G string. Give it like a half step, kind of a half bend. Release the bend, back to the 6th fret of the G string on your index finger, 8th fret D string ring finger, 6th fret D string index, 8th fret A string ring, 6th fret A string index, slide down to the 4th fret A string with your index, then and go down to the 6th fret of the E string with your with your ring finger, and then hammer on from 4 to 6 on the A string, index to ring. Slide up to 8 on the A string, ring finger, and then it ends. I think it ends on 6th fret A string, holding that. So it's basically. Oh man, I just played it way different. So it's something like, you know. Okay, and then the band is going to hit the B flat. All right, so the B flat comes in roughly, you know, it's kind of freeform here because it's the big bombastic ending. Comes in roughly around like measure 41, I think. And then after holding that for a little while, out around what would be measure 44, if you're still counting at that point, there's this G minor pentatonic back up to where we were in the main part of the solo. So it starts up with a pull off from B18, 18th fret B string to 15th fret B string, and a ring to index. And then bend up the 18th fret E string with your ring finger. So, and then bend up the 18th fret E string. So pull off from 18 to 15 on the B string, ring finger to index, and then whole step bend on the 18th fret E string with your ring finger. And there's a real quick little flurry, descending G minor pentatonic, and it kind of just follows the blues box down from what I can hear. And it's going to end, so starting on 18, and you're going to end on about the 15th fret of the A string, and there's a kind of a little trill between 15th fret and 17th fret of the A string, so you kind of hear some of that. And then it repeats that, except for the second time through, it ends on the 15th fret of the D string, and there's a little trill between 15 and 17 on the D string, something like that. And then there's you hear a little riff that sounds like something like 17, 18, 17, 15 all on the E string, and then a slide where he's holding down the 18th fret of the B and the E strings with maybe the ring finger and just a slide. So it's something like that. And then to end the whole thing, there's a whole step bend up on fret 20 of the E string, like that. And I don't know if there's vibrato like that. It might just be kind of a straighter type of thing. And the whole thing's kind of fading out, and you can hear it's just kind of drifting off. So that's the way it ends. All right, and that's the whole thing. Yeah, so congratulations. You made it all the way to the end. I keep telling myself that one of these days I'm going to put like an Easter egg or something at the end of this, you know, a little pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for those people who stick it out and make it all the way to the end, but not this time, I guess. It'll have to be, your reward will have to be that you know how to play the solo to Purple Rain, so that'll be a reward in itself. All right, I hope the lesson was helpful, and you know, if you have any questions, as I think I said before, feel free to post them in the comments or send them over to me. And as always, thank you very much for watching.